And now it's time for a Star Trek story.
You know, we've been here talking about Peter Piper picking a peck of pickled peppers. Just really asking some of the big questions of life. Also, such questions as, if a woodchuck could chuck wood, how much woodchuck could a woodchuck wood if a woodchuck could chuck wood? You know, the stuff that keeps you up at night, you know. So today's question is, I don't know if it's going to be on the same level, Aaron.
I'm ready for it.
But we'll see. My question today, Aaron, is what does it mean to discover your own humanity?
Oof. I wasn't ready for it.
I'll go second.
Gosh, I mean, for me initially, like finding your sense of compassion for other people, finding how you fit into this weird space that is like our civilization and our world, right? I think that's a big part of it.
Interesting. Yeah, both of those definitely speaking to like a larger thing than yourself. I mean, humanity. Compassion. I like that. Yeah. We'll see what Star Trek has to say about it because, of course, you are listening, loyal viewer at home, to Star Trek Stories, episode 28, Deja Q.
The titles.
I know, the titles.
That's pretty close. That's not bad.
Deja Q is the best.
Yeah.
Hiding Q makes no sense.
No.
Q-Who is like, I don't know, whatever that's referring to.
Q-Who! That's the only way to say that title.
Deja Q rhymes. It seems to get to something, so best Q title so far. Yes, of course, I am your unexcelled host, Jaron Hatch, and I'm joined here by my splendiferous co-host, Aaron Cole. Hello, Aaron.
Splendiferous. How you doing, Jaron?
Not too bad. Enjoying a nice, very warm Sunday, but we got ice-cold lagers on our hands, so
we do, and it
could be worse.
The weather's been great all week. It's finally heating up a little bit, but the week before too, like all that nice cloudy windiness was very pleasant.
Yeah, definitely. Like I always love a good bit of sunshine at the end of a nice cloudy period.
Loveless Sunday.
Yes, for all of you at home, we are in the middle of our look at the TNG Renaissance. Last time we watched The Defector. This was the second episode in our Romulan twofer, where we fell down a rabbit hole of Shakespearean critique with our good friend Austin Archer. We're here to talk about the Romulans. Show Shakespeare. This week, we have a returning guest with us, back on the show with us. The very lovely Jake Barnes is back with us. Hello, Jake.
Hello. Yes, I am back. You might say it's Deja Q. Yeah, I'm back for another Q episode.
Yeah.
All right.
Now, Jake has been watching all of the TNG Q episodes with us, at least so far, and been a blast. Last time we watched the season 2 episode Q-Who, which I think we agreed has been the best Q episode so far. That was the assessment, yes?
Yes.
Yes. Easily.
Easily, yeah. The most vulnerable, the most backstory, some beef with Guinan. It was all there.
Guinan beef.
Serving up a rare helping of Guinan beef.
Nope.
Only at Trump Tower.
I'm so sorry I said
Rare?
Yeah, I would say they've all been steadily improving, each one. There's definitely, I think, a bigger jump from Hiding Q to Q-Who. It'll be interesting to see if this pattern holds with today's episode, Deja Q. Yeah, so, we've been talking about all the Q episodes. We've got a few under our belt. I'm curious, Jake, what do you think makes Q such a compelling character that clearly that they keep bringing him back over and over and over again? There's no shortage of Q episodes.
There's a few aspects. I think the first is John Delancey's performance. That's a great thing that people like to watch over and over. It's fun to bring him back. He's got great chemistry with the cast. But I also think that he acts as this like measuring stick for humanity. Each time they bring him in, it's like where do we stand at this current moment as humanity? And as our progress evolves, Q always shows up at this time to make to make the crew and the people of that time check themselves. Yeah. Where do we actually stand? And so every time Q comes in, it's a reevaluation of that.
He's the gut check and he's the executioner as well.
Yeah, I agree. And I also agree, and I didn't think about this too much, but as soon as you said, I think a big part is John Delancey, I absolutely agree. I think if someone else were playing the part, not on the same level as John Delancey, even if Q is an interesting character, it still might be a bit of a different story. You know, because they did a Q-like being on the original series, Trelane, but he's only in one episode. They didn't see fit to they don't really, I mean, he gives a good performance in that one too. So maybe it is a combination of when you have that perfect synthesis, you have a great character and then you found the perfect actor to play it, which is kind of rare, unfortunately, when you have that just perfect synthesis of character and part.
It's surprising that Q doesn't show up in the TNG movies.
Yeah, he's not in any of them.
It's something to consider. Maybe it's because from a story perspective, he is like the antagonist, but I wouldn't call him a villain. I don't know. Maybe it didn't work for the feature presentation.
You talked about, Jake, Q's great for kind of being that kind of that testing, that measure for humanity. So in terms of the question we asked earlier, I don't know, do you have any thoughts on what it is to, this idea of what it is to discover your own humanity?
Off of what you both were saying, I'm glad that Aaron mentioned community, because that's kind of where my thought fell into was, okay, community. When I find my humanity, I understand, I guess, what it means to be human, to act human, to function in the human race. I think religions have kind of touched on it too. One could say like the Golden Rule, for example, is kind of an example of humanity, discovering that giving love and receiving love is the ultimate thing you can do. That's obviously circumstantial for individuals, but to me, that's kind of what it means to have that energy given back and forth that's really positive, and we're all in this shit together. We're all in this floating rock in the middle of space, and the whole thing functions better when we are together versus not. Sure. And back to Q, he kind of gut checks us sometimes and tells us to, hey, you guys used to fight over resources. You would divide your land up. So in the big sense, finding your humanity could lead to those next step in human evolution, caring for people, passing certain legislation that protects people, certain things like that. So finding your humanity, to me, is understanding your positive impact in your role in the community of the human race.
Yeah, I mean, that basically ties right in with what you were saying, Aaron, with both compassion and understanding your place in like the larger scheme of things. Yeah.
I have a thought, and this might be, I don't know how this is going to come off, but memetics. Like when you see a meme that millions of other people have seen and liked already, and you see it for the first time and it touches you too, you're like, oh, that's true for my life. And you see how many other people have thought the same thing as you. Something there too. Memes.
Oh, I love that. Just storytelling in general. Finding the humanity when you're writing a script or something is finding those universal truths amongst all of us, that we're all in this together. That, this is, we have the same kind of similar trials, similar obstacles, and we are much more alike than we are different.
120%. Yeah, I love that. Well, who needs to watch Star Trek? We got it figured out, boys.
Yeah,
All right, let's
go.
Thanks, everyone.
Fuck this.
Let's make our own space show.
Yeah, I'm gonna drink this beer.
We should start a band.
What?
Millennials, we should start a TV show.
Let's do it.
Do slam poetry.
What a twist.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm
Yeah, him
sorry,
too.
world, for everything us hipsters have unleashed upon the world.
I'm not a fucking hipster.
I
ain't no fucking hipster.
God, I
Ain't
feel
no hipster.
positive right now.
It's true. We are not drinking IPAs, so
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
we are drinking lagers. So we're
Lagers.
regular, cool human beings,
Regular.
not fucking hipsters.
Well, I did bring this beer that you should try, though. Let's take a break.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see if this episode gives us any pointers on where we might discover our humanity. Yes, like we said, we are watching Deja Q. This
Again?
Deja Q. This premiered February 5th, 1990. This is the 13th episode produced for the third season. So right smack dab in the middle of the season. While this isn't part of a twofer, like most of our episodes in this chunk are, this is a follow-up to the previous Q episode, so I guess this is kind of a non-contiguous twofer. Yeah, in our first batch of episodes, Q was a bit of a trickster god trying to test the crew of the Enterprise. And then in the last episode we watched, he was recontextualized a bit as almost more of an ominous lesson giver. So yeah, as our TNG Renaissance continues, we'll see if the show continues to like recontextualize and find new aspects to explore in Q. For those of you at home who are going to watch with us, Star Trek The Next Generation is streaming on Paramount Plus. You can find it by bringing up Season 3, Episode 13. And we will be back after we watch Deja Q.
At the risk of being rude. Yes, once again, I've overstayed my welcome. As a human, I was ill-equipped to thank you. But as myself, you have my everlasting gratitude. Until next time. But before I go, there's a debt I wish to repay to my professor of the humanities. Data, I've decided to give you something very, very special.
If your intention is to make me human, Q...
No. I would never curse you by making you human. Think of it as a going-away present.
Data. Data, why are you laughing?
I do not know. It was a wonderful feeling.
Yes, we just got done watching Deja Q. In case you didn't watch it with us, or if you haven't seen it before, in this story, essentially Q comes back, but this time he has lost his powers. He has been kicked out of the Q continuum, and he's been exiled to live out the rest of his life as a human being. The crew isn't entirely convinced of this throughout the episode, but they begrudgingly give him a spot on the ship, and they're trying to get his help during this crisis. And in the end, Q realizes he's not. He has some old enemies show up while he's vulnerable to try to take him out. And eventually Q realizes he's not cut out to be a human, decides to sacrifice himself to save the ship and the situation at hand. And because of this selfless act, Q decide to reinstate him as one of them. We'll start with initial thoughts. Jake, what did you think of Deja Q?
Boom, pop, bam.
Yeah.
Zinger, the episode.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah.
It was great. What fun. Just one-liners left and right. Facts.
So many facts.
Slapping each other with their words.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What a script.
Firm agree. Girthy confirm. What an episode.
Nice.
Yeah, my God. Zinger, I think, is spot on. The whole, almost every line. I mean, so much of this script is John Delancey just dishing him out. It kind of mostly follows him. He's basically the POV character. But zinger after zinger.
Everyone gets a few in. I feel like
that's true.
Yeah, Guinan gets a couple in there. Data gets a couple.
Picard, Data.
Even Riker gets a few in there.
Mm-hmm.
Guinan chooses violence.
That Guinan beef.
Guinan beef. That Wagyu A5 Guinan beef.
Not choice.
Stabs him with a fork right in the hand. Like
Guinan beef.
Like old crazy junior high girlfriend style.
Yeah, she stabbed his ass.
Yeah. Stop! Guinan's darkest moment? She's pretty full of sage wisdom for most of the show, but this episode she's like,
she meant it though. You saw it.
Stabs the guy.
It's probably the least he deserves.
For sure.
Who can say?
What 15 people died last episode directly because of events set in motion by Q. No wonder they're all pissed at him throughout this whole episode. Aaron, initial thoughts coming off of Deja Q.
Great episode. I'm so glad to be here in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Troy still has nothing to do.
Oh, my God. She doesn't. She just kind of sits there and gives bland observations that everyone can see. It seems you have an advocate, Q. Yes, we all saw, Deanna.
She's like, why am I here? Why am I in this meeting? Why am I serving on the ship?
That's
questioning all her career decisions.
That's all she does is state the obvious. And it's like, oh, that poor Marina. I mean, they eventually figure Troy out and give her stuff to do. It just takes almost the whole series to get there. I love Marina and I like Troy. Man, they just never know what to do with her.
Come on.
It's too bad. Yeah, she does basically nothing in this episode. Everyone else got to have a little moment, not Troy. No. I know Wesley. Now that I think about it. Wesley.
Didn't make it into the episode at all.
Consider that.
No Wesley Crusher.
So many memes come out of this episode and GIFs and just watch it and you're like, oh, there's one. Like every 5 minutes or so, a new one pops up.
Yeah, the famous Picard facepalm.
Mm-hmm.
One of the famous Picard facepalms, but probably the most famous one is in this episode.
Right. Oh my gosh, the mariachi band.
They were amazing.
What a climax! Just the mariachi band comes in. I think that's actually like a funeral memorial song they're playing, if I recall correctly, but like jazzed up.
So there's a lot of joy that was happening.
So much joy happening in that moment.
Very cute.
Yeah. Yeah, getting into the Q losing his power in this one is the whole central thesis. And it gives it this is the only Q episode like this. In every other episode, Q's got his powers and he's always in control of the situation. This is the only one like this, so it makes it really unique. So coming off of what we watched, I don't know, how does this flesh out Q more? What do we? What am I trying to ask? Like, how does like him losing his powers, I don't know, elucidate him as a character? Do we feel like we get to know him better in this? I'm curious, like what that does to him, like him being vulnerable. How does that like change our perceptions on him?
Well, back to what we were talking about earlier, I guess it gives him a level of humanity. He now has to deal with the variables of being human, eating, drinking, these sort of things.
Survival mode.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, as the audience, we get to see a god-like person not be godlike anymore, and that painful transition for him. But these are, it's clever because these are things we deal with every day.
Sure.
Going to sleep, eating, drinking water, and everything that we do on a daily basis, he considers a nuisance. And that's fun to watch. Again, showing us ourselves, showing us who we are through this other entity. And on that same note, Data as well. He's not human either, but we get so much information about humans through him. Both of them together, observing humans tells us much about ourselves.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways Data is kind of like the unsung hero of the episode, even though it's very much like it is the Q episode. It is his episode through and through. But Data, yeah, really offers another unique perspective, and some of their scenes together are really interesting. Probably the highlight of the episode is their scenes.
This moment set up such an interesting correlation that I never thought about before, like Data's path to humanity versus Q's. You know what I mean? And it'll be interesting to watch their characters both going forward and how they interact.
Yeah, how he discusses the irony of how he aspires to be human, and now Q's all fucking pissed that he's human.
You're right, yeah. It's Data's ultimate dream, and the very same thing as Q's like worst nightmare. It makes for some really interesting like scenes between them as they're both trying to figure out humanity together, even though like Data is like supposed to be his mentor.
And watchdog. If you try anything, Data will fuck you up.
It's interesting seeing, because this is both it's really smart how this works. I don't know how intentional all this is, but Q comes across as extremely imperfect in this episode. It's almost like without his powers, it's like, oh, this guy is a fucking joke, like, of a person. It makes sense why he would act this way, but it's like, but it's interesting how that both, it gives you at the same time, it gives you an interesting insight into him as a character, and also this idea of like humanity. Humanity is also very imperfect, and Q is kind of. It's almost like Q embodies like our most imperfect self, and is like if we were our most imperfect, obnoxious self, and we were constantly voicing just, oh, my back, oh my God, oh, don't talk to me that way. It's like Q almost gives like a voice, it feels like, to that little imperfect, the most imperfect self inside of you.
Eating 10 ice cream sundaes.
I want 10. Oh, I'm not hungry anymore.
No filter, impulsive.
No, completely self-absorbed.
Totally.
And it's because, we talked about at the beginning, like looking at humanity. I think that is part of it. When I look at Q, I'm like, he's very human. And that little imperfect self, unfortunately, is probably all too recognizable for all of us, even if we're not always voicing it or giving like, everyone knows, like everyone kind of wants to be Q a lot of the time. Just like, oh, fuck, yeah, shit, come on, this is the worst, blah, blah.
It can be easy to fall into that, and then that becomes a habit, and then you're in a bad place, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, even though I've seen these all before, it will be interesting going forward to just consider, now that you kind of have that, we have this picture of Q in our head. He's not just the guy putting him on trial. He's not just the guy introducing him to the Borg. Now we've seen him at his complete worst. And the only reason why he gets by is they all, despite how much they all don't like him, and he says, it's like, I just knew if I came here, you would all like help me. Because that's just what you guys do, right?
Claim asylum.
Yeah, claim asylum and
Sanctuary.
And they do try to save him at the end.
Feels like Geordi's figured himself out in this episode. LeVar's got that character down. Michael Dorn's feeling Worf much better, it seems. He looks tough. He looks angry, like a Klingon, He's feeling those shoes much better.
Yeah. Geordi, for sure, man. He asserts himself a lot in this episode. I'm in charge. You will listen.
Telling Q what's up.
That little moment with Beverly and Q is awesome as well. She like gives him
the back rub.
The medical devices are so funny. She's like, "Oh yeah, I got something for that." Just, the old back fixer upper device.
Yeah, he gets lots of little good moments with everyone. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, because we have been kind of watching these characters grow, and especially when we're talking about, like you said, Jake, Q's an interesting barometer for the show. That's a good observation that like they all play off each other and with Q really well. The whole show and cast feels, maybe this is the most comfortable the show has felt about itself.
Yeah.
And all the episodes we've watched.
It's a different cast almost.
Yeah.
Like
They're comfortable in their
vibe is,
costumes. They're comfortable in what they're saying. Their lingo.
Not as stiff anymore. And we had seen them, like, they've been laxing up a bit, but it really feels palpable here. Very relaxed. Really easy just to kind of just go, like, get, all right, yeah. It's got that kind of comfy blanket feeling now, when before there was a little bit more of a, I don't know, a tension still there between them all. But, that ties into, because I was thinking about, as I was watching this, I was like, and I think you said this while we were watching, Aaron, it's like, oh yeah, we really could have finished the episode or something like this, where it's like, basically when we're talking about what is it to discover humanity, and we had like compassion and community were the two big answers. I'm like, oh my God, they basically directly
just said it.
Just say it in this episode.
There was a meme.
Both of you, 10 out of 10, 100% spot on the money, at least in terms of calling the Star Trek perspective on humanity. Compassion and community. Yeah, Data basically says as much. And it's incredible. Maybe it's just because Q doesn't have the power, but there's such a sense of power between them all. All together, they feel so much more than Q does.
Well, they have this shared experience too, all this past with Q, so they can rally together against this common enemy.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I love how they don't quite trust that they have the stick of power. Mm-hmm. But over time, when they do understand that they do have like all control over this person, they choose not to like seek vengeance.
No, yeah, it's one of the interesting,
That's true.
And like he says, that's one of the reasons why I came here. Despite everything I've done, I knew you guys would help me out the best you can because of who your Starfleet, your Federation.
They do.
Like, we're still going to roast you, but
Yeah. It's also interesting seeing how much of a does he feel consistent in the sense like this episode is so much more jokey. Does that still feel more or less in line? Do we feel like they play that up at all? Like him being a jokester in this one compared to the others?
I think it's a product of someone, because at a certain point, these writers are coming at it from like looking at different psychological disorders, different like how do we write this character as a human, you know? He's very narcissistic to me, right? Classic narcissist. And he kind of has a paradigm shift moment where he becomes self-aware of how he is. And he's like, oh, yeah, that's just, oh, yeah, self-discovery, cool. And then he just goes right back into it the moment he gets his powers back.
Yeah, definitely a jokester in this one where you've called him a trickster. We've mentioned him being a trickster in the other ones where he's not like that in this one. Because he can't be. He doesn't have the tools to play the tricks on people. No. So
exactly. So he resorts to humor.
Right. Yeah. Right. That's how he can get his digs in.
It's like going from a trickster god to like the court jester is almost what he turns into.
Like, oh yeah, I know exactly what card. I just become the helpless, meager guy who makes people laugh. And I will survive.
What's funny too is that other Q being also has this kind of, I don't know the word for it, jokey attitude about the world, a very happy-go-lucky, very animated style of delivery. So I found that kind of interesting.
Similar
and they
vibe.
called each other, hey Q, what's up Q? We are Q. Q.
Yeah. Yeah, we get to see our first...
A race of Lokis.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He feels very much in that same kind of vibe. They both have Loki energy. But they're all like that. Loki.
Oh, God. Like cynical Gallifreyans.
Yeah. Also very kind of Time Lordy, but just like if they were just going around, if they just had no regard for anything, even more so.
They've been around for so long, they're just tired of it, and they're so like, bleh.
They're just
I've
having
seen
a good
it
time.
all, man.
Seen it all. Yeah, in case for those who don't know, that other Q is played by Corbin Burnson, making a cameo appearance from LA Law, which was huge at the time. So he comes in and plays Q2.
Who?
Q who? Corbin Burnson from LA Law.
Corbin Burnson!
I know. Huge at the time.
Haven't I seen him in something? Oh, Deja Q.
Wow, Deja Q. Yeah, I mean, we've kind of been talking a little bit about how each episode has also kind of looked a little bit more at the Q continuum. Yeah, what's the feeling on? We get little more insights, and this is probably our biggest peak we ever get, just because we see another one. I don't know, what's the feel on like what we're seeing of the continuum right now, what we're dealing with?
Yeah, what's their deal? What is their deal? Like, it seems like they just all go out and fuck with other people and then judge each other on how that went. And then,
Whether it's good or bad.
Who did you fuck with today? Oh, you didn't do that very well. You're out. Oh, who'd you fuck with today? Oh, you did pretty good. You're back in.
Right, just so...
What are you doing?
So flippant and just arbitrary.
I love what he said. The universe has been my backyard for so long, right?
Yeah.
Those little realizations he has. Like, this is where you are. This is who you are right now.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's almost like he's like a kid, and like since they perceive everything is just a backyard, and then just imagine just being in your backyard for millions of years and billions of years. It just gives you such a childish perspective on everything. Yeah. It's almost like a little kid being trapped in their backyard for eternity. And then when they're removed from that, it's like, oh, the real world?
Life is absurd. None of this matters.
Do you think there was any kind of... This was something in the back of my mind as I was watching this, and I'm curious, just because Star Trek does have this kind of anti-capitalist bent. Do you think this is also some kind of allegory for trying to consider what if some giant, wealthy, powerful person in our society had this huge, like, think about someone like Donald Trump. And someone who just ends up getting all this power, but then completely losing it all, losing everything, and then just like, I don't know how to be a human. I don't think I'd be a good one. Maybe, I don't know.
I had a thought that kind of gave me goosebumps. It's like usually people talk about growth as like stepping out of the comfort zone, stepping out of the backyard, stepping out of the sandbox. For someone like you, it's someone like Donald Trump. It's like you have to step back in to a smaller space for growth, because you've been in the biggest space for so long that you have no real perspective of what it means to be
Totally alien
in the tiny like playpen.
Right?
That's not a perspective I had considered as I was watching it.
Yeah, I've never thought about it either. It was just something that kind of popped in my head while I was watching this time.
I actually had kind of the feeling almost opposite of that in a way, that like Q almost represents the everyman in a lot of ways, in the sense that, coming full circle, these universal truths. He represents a lot of these things that all humans can relate to: hunger, sleep, and it's humbling to watch him be humbled by these things. And Data also is there to kind of show us that although we sometimes struggle with these nuisances or annoyances, we should not take them for granted. They should be something we cherish, and we will miss when we don't have them, or we should be grateful that we can do them at all in this world.
Totally. It informs your abilities, like the things that you think are just automatic, like getting up, eating food, breathing, drinking water, like
inform your
all the things that you consider to be like things you have to do as a human just to survive. That's a lot, and
it is.
if you're doing those things, congratulations, because you're doing a lot of work. Something that we do take for granted, I think, is just the things you have to do to keep living.
Yeah, and that's where both of their perspectives are so interesting, is that's what Q is really focusing on, like the seemingly mundane stuff. But then Data is also basically like dropping facts and just like, but this is what it is to be human, essentially. And like, as if that's like, no, but that's like, that's the experience. It's like what he's trying to get across to him, which is really interesting. Like, cause you can see Data has this perspective of not taking it for granted at all. Like, and it's really interesting to see. There's almost like part of the human acceptance is embracing that, just embracing like, yeah, this is how it is, but that's what makes you human, Really interesting. Do you think we would all have the compassion and sense of community to be as forgiving and redeeming of Q?
Timing is everything.
Sure.
Yeah, you like to think so.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
Because you always sometimes want to see some of these people fall so bad, and they do. When it's actually put in front of you, and I don't know, do you have that same sense or feeling? To some degree.
It's ugly.
Yeah. It is ugly.
Yeah, and when it is put in front of you, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's almost like they're face to face with their own wretchedness, as that is part of the like, oh my God. Q shows up completely naked in the beginning, and it's just like, oh my God.
Yeah. They immediately help him
put clothes on him.
Yeah,
Yes.
I like to think we would do the same.
Yeah, you can't just let Soa sit there just like naked, just
Help me.
get that massive
like,
clothes.
It goes back to what you said a little bit about him being the everyman. I think it's like an examination of what we should be looking at in ourselves. Like, you need to be able to see the wretched, naked person in yourself and be able to show that to people to a certain point, maybe like a professional, and talk to that person about that person inside of you, and have them help you work on it, have them help you put clothes on that person and guide them through it as well,
Yeah, we haven't mentioned the redemption here, Q reaches a point in this episode where he actually redeems himself, and yeah, that's a great human lesson.
He sacrificed, like, he saves the crew of the Enterprise, and he saves millions of people on the planet. It definitely puts Q in an interesting perspective. 15 people died last time. This episode, he goes out of, he doesn't have to do this, but he saves millions of people's lives in this episode. Kind of interesting.
It's fascinating that he loses his powers, but he keeps his knowledge. He keeps so much. He keeps all that experience, these memories. Imagine what you could do in the mortal world, even if as helpless and not knowing like the basics, as he is. Like he can't eat, he can't sleep, or whatever. But like he could kill it in this galaxy with all that knowledge, right? He could be very successful if he just got his shit together a little bit.
Data gets to laugh. That's so enjoyable.
Oh yeah, we have to talk about that last moment for sure. Yeah,
Touch my little heart.
It gets me every time. I always it's such a joyful moment, just pure joy.
Meme.
The laugh.
Mm-hmm.
I love it's such a good note to end the episode on, like, because I would say this is a comedy. It plays like a comedy. Like, it doesn't end in tragedy or anything like that. A lesson is learned, jokes a minute. But I love just how, but there are serious things they're looking at in this episode. Some human existential stuff they're looking at in this episode. What it is to be human and accepting that, and it's like compassion and community, but also the imperfect, ugly stuff and just the mundane. There's just so much they're looking at in this one episode. And in the end, it all ends with a laugh, Data being able to laugh. And that's the most joyful human moment he gets. What a note to end on. Because it's you can't help but laugh a little, but you're feeling so much joy and like understanding. It's like, oh, dude, yeah. When you boil it all down, that's it. If you ask me, it's like just to be able to laugh, just like that in a moment like that, like, oh.
And the laugh itself is so good.
Oh,
and it just keeps
Full
going.
belly guffaw.
It makes you laugh so hard with him. It's really, really nice.
The fact that he wasn't even nominated for an Emmy, like if that's an Emmy win, if there are Emmy winning moments, that's it.
He never got nom?
No.
At all?
No.
Oh man.
What a disservice.
For moments like that, I'm like, that is such a brilliant acting moment.
He's so good.
Good performances all around. John Delancey and Brent Spiner.
Putting in the work.
And Corbin Burnson.
Corbin Burnson.
Wow. One of us. He's not.
Should we do just a couple things of behind the scenes before we do final thoughts?
Sure.
So I guess in the original pitch for this episode, it was Q was faking losing his powers. And there was this whole political situation where they were potentially things were suddenly escalating with the Klingons. And in the original draft, Q was faking his powers and keeping everyone guessing. And in the end, it was this whole little thing where he could, like, in the end, save the day and come across as this huge hero to everyone. But I guess when they gave it to, because Gene Roddenberry was still involved, even though he had, taken a back seat. When they gave it to him, he was like, just do it straight. Actually have him lose his powers. Like, if you're going to, like, play with the idea, like, actually play with the idea. And the showrunner at this point, Michael Piller, he said, like, it was a huge lesson for me as a writer. I was like, yeah, that would have been fun. But this allowed them to just actually explore the idea of Q losing his powers, and they got so much more out of it. Like quintessential Star Trek stuff, I would say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it finally makes Q relatable.
Right.
We don't all know what it's like to lose omnipotent powers, but we've all experienced loss to a degree, to some sort.
Vulnerability.
And yeah, absolutely. So I think that was a very wise choice to keep it that way.
So you said that was like a death memorial song.
Yeah, I think the song, I'd have to look it up. I think the mariachi song is actually some sort of like song they play at like a funeral or a memorial or something like that.
He's playing that to like the death of the Q that he once knew.
He's
like, I'm a brand new crazy Q now. Just you wait, Captain.
Yeah, these random laughs are because we're watching this celebration on the bridge of the Enterprise with mariachi band.
I'm a Q with compassion.
I don't need your fantasy women.
Amazing. I don't need your fantasy women.
Seconds later, Riker's going down to holodeck 2 to have fun with Minuet.
Oh, man. Oh, Jonathan Frakes. His face is getting a little bigger.
Yeah.
A little more.
He's not the once slim, taut, beardless Riker he once was. He has turned on to full on, like, I don't know, what, teddy bear, everyone's best friend.
Yeah.
Riker.
Yeah,
Daddy Riker.
Gunfingers guy.
Guy will have a beer with you in 10 forward.
There's a point.
But he probably shouldn't.
There's a point where a man can like choose the beard, and a point where a man like needs the beard to hide the extra chins.
Extra chins.
The beard chooses you.
Yeah.
But, you know, he wears that beard so well.
Kills it.
There's a reason why one of the euphemisms for, like, when the show got good is when the show grows a beard.
Right.
Just because, like, yeah, because Riker wears that beard really well.
With Deep Space Nine, too.
Great beard.
And Voyager. It gets really good when Janeway grows her beard.
Grows her beard, yeah. Yeah. Now, that one is literally when, like, Janeway finally lets her hair down. And the show gets good. That's that version.
When she loses the space bun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Cisco literally grows the goatee,
And goes
and becomes the single most
Full bake.
badass captain in the entire Star Trek
Goes
franchise.
full Avery.
Full Avery.
Oh, he's so good.
Full Hawk. Yeah. In the opening scene, John Delancey actually did shoot that scene nude. Just because of the setup of the shot, they're like, there really isn't a way to do this unless you're naked and make it, and otherwise it's going to be obvious that you're not. So he goes on with the towel and eventually like, okay, we're ready for you, John. And he just has to bear it all in front of everyone. And they hoist him. Like he said, because of that, this whole episode is one of the hardest things he had to do. And
Good naked hoisting.
good little naked hoisting in front of everyone.
Damn, man.
Full Monty, full Q in front of everyone.
Q.
How fun.
Yo, P.
I thought I was the P. Any final thoughts on Deja Q? Or did we already do final thoughts? I have a bit of Deja Q.
Final thoughts? Get to that panel or get the hell out of here.
Go watch it. It's worth your time.
Yeah, I think it's easy to maybe forget about this one as one of the great. This is a genuinely, like, this isn't just a good episode. I think this is like I said, more or less on par with the last one. This is a great episode of Star Trek.
That was the most fun I've had watching Star Trek in a long time. I was watching this one.
Yeah.
So good.
I agree.
And a great showcase for Star Trek doesn't always nail comedy. I think they nail it in this one. It all comes from the natural situation. Great episode. All right. Better than Q-Who. What do you think? Better or really just?
Yeah, I think so.
Are we still on the upward trajectory?
Great. Q-Who is awesome. Everything it needed to be, but the cast and all the pieces are fitting together better as a whole, and you can tell. It's streets ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The chemistry just keeps getting better and better and better and better. And you can tell that the cast is beginning to not only like tolerate each other, but genuinely like each other.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. It's like episode more or less on par, but the show is better. And that
They're vibing.
puts it up a notch.
Well, and I like this episode too, from the perspective that, how do I articulate this? In the other one,
Q-Who.
Yeah, Q-Who. He creates a scenario himself that only he can solve, and I don't know, that plot was a little. I mean, it's great to see the Borg and all of those things, but at the root of it, it's just Q creating a problem and then solving it himself, just to pat himself on the back. Whereas this one, not that at all. Complete vulnerability. We have an outside problem that we need to come together to fix. We don't have a choice but to come together to fix it, instead of making humans beg for help.
I'll end tighter script. Yeah.
Tight.
Tight.
Like you said, every line.
All right. Well, there you go. Deja Q, even better than Q. Like, we have just kept the ball rolling on Q. It keeps getting better and better. Well, hell yeah.
Corbin Burnson.
Captain, what's your deads? what do you do with? No, seriously.
Well, Jake, thank you so much for coming on and watching Deja Q with us.
A pleasure.
This
was a pleasure.
Yeah, it almost feels like you were just here doing this with us.
Feels that way.
Days of Future Past.
It was that
Deja
way.
Future Past.
Don't
Deja.
sue us.
It is that way.
Deja Future Q.
Oh, brilliant title. Use it. Green light.
Yeah, we will have you back on to watch more Q, Jake.
Excellent. Can't wait.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you for watching. Next week we're going to be starting a new twofer. During this TNG Renaissance, we've looked at a few things, how they've really focused on their little character-centric morality plays. They've raised the stakes of the show, and I think in this one we just saw and now they've finally gotten comfortable with the fucking show. So in our next twofer, we're going to look at specifically, and because this was also a concerted effort during this whole period of the show, was they were really trying to start to loosen things up. One of the criticisms in the first 2 seasons was that it was too stiff. So this next little twofer we're going to be doing is our little loosey-goosey twofer. And we're going to start with probably the aspect that got the most criticism from being too stiff. Even though he was lauded for his performance, people did think Patrick Stewart, or Captain Picard specifically, was a bit stiff. In this next episode we're going to watch, it's going to be them. The actual point of the episode was in the writer's room. It's like, we're going to loosen Captain Picard up in this episode. We're going to be watching Captain's Holiday.
Buckle up.
Buckle up, everyone.
We're going to see Captain Picard relax the fuck out of this.
And our very good friend Mindy Barnes is going to be coming on and watching the show with us. Yeah, wow. Next week only. We'll have to wait. It's not like they're here right now sitting next to Jake. But next week...
Oh my God, who's next?
Oh my God. Yeah, next week, Mindy Barnes with us. Looking forward to it. Aaron, thank you so much. Always a treat.
Thanks, Jaron. This was really fun today.
Yeah, really fun.
Thank you, Jake.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
It's always, I love the sad ones, but it's nice to have a good chuckle with your mates. But we have sad ones coming down the line, so don't worry, everyone. We won't let you down. You'll get tears and laughs on this show.
Mostly tears.
Mostly tears.
And a few mids.
All right, everyone. Until next time, toodaloo. Thanks for listening. If you'd like to share us your own Star Trek story, you can email us at storiedstartrek@gmail.com, or you can visit our Discord server. You can find us by clicking on the link in the show description.